U.S. intelligence leaders say China poses the most consequential threat to the nation's national security.
They never once said they want to coexist. Everything they say is about destroying the West.
We better wake up or we're going to live in a very different world than the one we've been used to.
The suspected Chinese spy balloon was spotted on Wednesday.
If China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did.
China ligt zwaar op de lever van Amerika en zeker ook in de staat Florida. Gouverneur DeSantis scoort landelijk met zijn harde woorden tegen China.
Florida makes it very clear, we don't want the CCP in the Sunshine State. We want to maintain this as the free state of Florida, and that's exactly what these bills are doing.
DeSantis, presidentskandidaat, ondernam in de lente actie tegen de Chinezen. Voortaan is het voor Chinese staatsburgers verboden om landbouwland of een huis te kopen op minder dan 15 kilometer van kwetsbare infrastructuur, zoals een haven, een luchthaven, een waterweg, een energiecentrale enzovoort. Dat betekent in feite dat Chinese staatsburgers nagenoeg nergens nog in Florida een eigendom kunnen kopen.
They are not allowed to buy property. If you are affiliated with the CCP, with the government of China, you cannot buy property in the state of Florida.
Jay Collins heeft de wet meegeschreven in Florida. Hij vindt China een grote dreiging.
I do consider China a threat to Florida and the United States, and frankly, I think they're a threat to the world. Look at the instability in what's going on. You have world powers in China and Russia, Iran. We show collusion. We know they work together, and ultimately, America stands for something.
I'm Jay Collins. As a Green Beret, I've been shot, frozen half to death, and got hit by a mortar.
Collins raakte een been kwijt als soldaat in Afghanistan. Hij is beducht voor nieuwe dreigingen zoals China.
Just yesterday, there were 1,200 Chinese found at the border illegally trying to come across. We know this happens. We know it's a problem. We have to take it serious. Our federal government isn't doing enough to control and protect our nation, so we've got to do that. What happens when we lose control of our land, of our agricultural community? I don't want our state or our nation relying on other people to control our food supply. That puts us at a huge strategic disadvantage. So we got to do the right thing, and that's why we did these bills.
Bij de ACLU, een organisatie die de vrijheden van Amerikaanse burgers beschermt, bestrijden ze de wet uit Florida met een rechtszaak.
It violates the constitutional right to equal treatment. Florida is discriminating against Chinese people simply because they are Chinese. It has no compelling reason to do so. It has presented no evidence that home purchases by Chinese people living in Florida harm national security.
How did it go, Mr. President?
It is true that we're in this moment of increased geopolitical tension between the United States and China, but that does not justify this type of discriminatory law which so plainly violates the U.S. Constitution.
Yuki Ho is vastgoedmakelaar in Orlando, Florida. Zij voelt zich belaagd, ook al gaat de wet niet over haar, omdat zij Amerikaans staatsburger is.
I understand the government is target to CCP. That's government to government, but we are people. We're not supposed to have to pay for it, because not all the Chinese people is CCP, right?
Yuki ziet hoeveel Amerikaanse Chinezen nu ook wegblijven uit Florida, vanwege het stigma dat zij zogezegd mogelijke communistische infiltranten zijn.
I work in Florida real estate for over 10 years. I love my job. But right now, every time when I face to a client, I am very nervous. Before I would ask, the only question I ask them is if they can just provide the bank statement. And right now, I have to ask them if they're U.S. citizen or green card holder, because if I make any mistake, right now, I might have to go to jail just selling the house.
Hoe een heftige koude oorlog tussen China en de VS ook effect heeft op gewone burgers in Amerika.
The law imposes liability on individuals who sell in violation of the law. And that means that there's a real risk that sellers will treat any individual who they suspect could be a Chinese national as someone they shouldn't be selling to. We're also concerned about real estate agents discriminating against people who are US citizens, against people who they believe may be Chinese nationals but are actually in fact of Korean descent or Japanese descent. So the law absolutely is fueling broader discrimination in Florida.
China is een te duchte concurrent geworden van de VS op het wereldtoneel. En dat creëert spanningen en angsten. Ook het leger van China wordt almaar sterker en veroorzaakt nervositeit in de VS.
China respects strength and conviction. That is how they have always operated. We know that. So we have to be strong. We can't show weakness.
I've been living in the United States for almost 30 years. And right now, I just feel like when people look at me, I feel like I'm a spy or something. That's how I feel.